Good morning from Team West Bengal. Today we will be presenting an innovative project which is called Women Land Literacy Training. This program was initiated in West Bengal in 2018 with the objective to orient SHG members, that is self-help group members, on the rights over land so that they can access their entitlements related to land. The program is being rolled out in collaboration with Landisa, which is an international NGO, and with support from Land and Land Reforms Department, Government of West Bengal. We all know that land is an integral part of the rural life. Limited presence of women in public spaces, supplemented by unpaid work burden and patriarchal social norms, have all contributed to inequality in accessing, controlling, and ownership over land. So if we look at the recent DIL RMP study in West Bengal, so that is the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program in West Bengal, 46% of the land records of the state are undated. And over 83% of the households feel that if community is involved in this process, then the system of updation of land records and accessing of services could be a much faster process. Keeping this in mind, I would go to some of the problems that we had encountered while working with the SHG women. The existing land-related services are all available at the block office, making it difficult for the women in particular, and also the other people who wanted to access their land-related documents from the block office, because distance was an issue. The second is that the process and the related paperwork are perceived to be very cumbersome by the locals, because it involves a lot of online submission of documents, etc., and constant visit to the BLLRO offices. So often they would take the help of middlemen who charge exorbitant fees for the services they provide. Moreover, they did not explain the whole process properly, resulting in harassment of the rural people. Without proper updated documents, it was difficult for the rural people, both men and women, to access the government benefits related to land. These were the problems that we were constantly facing. So in this context, WBSRLM, which is West Bengal State Rural Livelihood Mission, we initiated the WLL training program in 2018 after a small pilot initiative. Under this training, till date, we have covered all the 23 districts of West Bengal, in which we have developed 422 MTs. MTs is the master trainers. So basically how we do this program is that first we select women who become the master trainers. The MTs in turn develop BLTs, who are the block level trainers, and these BLTs in turn develop the women SHG members. The WLL training has helped in a lot of ways. So basically how we started this program was after the training. This training is a continuous process, and we have not yet completed the trainings in all the SHGs. We still have a target this year. So basically what we are trying to do is to reach out to all the SHGs under the WBSRLM fold. So that would now be under WBSRLM. Now we have almost we have around 10 lakh SHGs. So reaching out to all the SHGs is a huge task, but we have covered more or less all the SHGs. So what happened after the training is that a few BOD members of the Shangho Samobai are the federation at the GP level, Gram Panchayat level. So these are the SHG members, representatives from SHGs who come together and form the federation, which is a registered body, which is called the Shangho Samobai. BODs are the board of directors of the Shangho Samobai, who are again the SHG members. Now they felt the need to establish an institutional platform with the new skills that they have acquired at their own localities, that is at the village level, so as to facilitate this whole process of accessing the land related services from the local level itself, instead of visiting the BLLRO office, which is at the block level. At present, we already have 6 Shanghos, that is the Shangho Samobai, who have the facilitation centers. These are just starting. We have started the process of facilitation center at the Gram Panchayat level. And from these facilitation centers, it is easy to provide and access the land related services, which is provided by the government of West Bengal, both online and offline. This is a graphical representation of our reach. So basically we have covered all the districts. So we have 23 districts which we have covered. Amongst 342 blocks of West Bengal, we have reached to 229 blocks. Shongos and GPs covered are almost 2,244. Amongst we have a total of 3,341 Shongos. Master trainers trained are 422. Block level trainers are 5,654. SAGs covered are 10 lakh SAGs, and women covered are 976390. One important thing that I would like to state here, the block level trainers being SAG women themselves, this is a kind of pool that we are developing with the thing in mind that they will be staying back at the local level in future also for sustainability. Even after we have withdrawn this program, this is a pool of trainers who will keep on training other women, and maybe in the future we can also start training men if they are interested. So they will be the pool of trainers who will be stationed at the local level and help to help the local people. So this is keeping the sustainability factor in mind. So basically, what has changed through this training? The family and community receive proper information and suggestions on land-related services. The BLLRO office is a place where actually people need to visit for accessing both online and offline services related to land. And often before we started this program, we have often noticed that not only women but men were also facing issues in approaching these centers. So through the services centers that we are now looking at, which will be stationed at the village level, the community will receive proper information in land related processes. The people who are at the service centers are trained women. So these women will also help in this whole process of updation of documents, getting copies of Khotian land records, etc. Moreover, these women would also are in a position and has been trained to physically visit the BLLO office and talk to the officials and get the things done. So that would also be easy. Keeping the West Bengal government innovative project like Duare Sarkar in mind, this was a thing that the services should reach the local people at the local level. So keeping that in mind, we thought of setting up this facilitation center basically at the Gram Panchayat level. Moreover, there is a huge gender concept involved in this whole process. Since we know that there is a gender equality existent in a society, and often the knowledge on inheritance laws, ownership and control over land of women is not there. So this whole process is to empower women to gain the information on related to land and related documents so that they can claim their related land rights. Regarding the outcomes, the women being the target over here, since we are training the women SAG members. So women are basically the information providers, and thereby they are the ones who are providing information and also suggestion to the locality, their family members and neighbors. So in this process, it is improving their social position also. Women are being looked till date. Women, it was thought that women would know nothing about land, but now people are approaching them for any issues and any help related to land. So it is improving their social position. The facilitation centers which run at the local Gram Panchayat level is saving a lot of time, money, and harassment of middlemen, which were the earlier problems. So now the people are more can easily access this facilitation center at the Gram Panchayat level instead of going to the block offices. And the women are helping in filling up the online applications. And also women now know that they have rights and control, and they can also control land, and they can have land in their name. So in that way, they are also coming to these centers to get the records updated and get the records in their name also. What were the challenges faced are definitely the gender barrier, where at first when we conceived this idea of giving training to women, there was a huge gender barrier because women were reluctant to take the training because land matters are perceived as a male domain. Computer literacy proved to be another problem because after the initial training, the woman had to be computer literate so as to be able to access and fill and update the documents which were provided. The services provided by the government is online, so they needed to be computer literate. The third is a patriarchal mindset where the women were men and women would not approach the facilitation centers because of this preconceived notion that women would not know anything about land related matters. So basically, what are the innovations of this project? This most innovative thing is that it capacitates the women on land related issues, which is very new. Second is that women are now accessing ownership of land and also controlling and managing it. Second is we are further developing women trainers who will be stationed at the local level so that they can continue the service in case the project withdraws from there. The other thing is that local women are providing the services at the local level. The facilitation centers are run at the GP level. So that is saving a lot of human resource and wastage of labor and harassment from the middleman. So these are the innovations of the project. What are our further expansion plans? During FY 21-22, we have plans to reach out to another 6 lakh SHG members and reach out to the remaining blocks. Like we still have 68 blocks to reach out to, so we'll reach out to all those blocks. Second is that we will try and set up more facilitation centers. So this first facilitation center was set up at Alipurduar district. It was set up in 23rd December 2020. And till date, we have people coming to these facilitation centers and they have applied for all the for getting updation and getting the documents. So under this COVID circumstances also, like we understand that it's in December 2020 that the first facilitation center was inaugurated. So the following months were all under lockdown, but till date they already have received 27 applications, out of which 3 to 4 applications have been successfully completed and the papers have been handed over. Moreover, there are a lot of cases who are coming for getting the documents printed and looking at the document details. So they have successfully provided services to those also. In the other districts, specifically in Alipurduar and Jalpaiguri and Kuch Bihar also, some of the Shanghu members are setting up facilitation centers. So hopefully in the near future, these facilitation centers would run successfully. I would just like to add 1 or 2 case studies which has happened, very successful case study. One is in Dinhata 1 block of Kuch Bihar. There was a family, a lady was trained in WLL and she went back home and looked at the land papers. Basically, she was under the idea that the land that they were cultivating was owned by her husband and her brother-in-law. But one look at the after her training, when she looked at the land paper, she saw that the ownership documents were in the name of a father-in-law and it had not been transferred. So she since she had the knowledge of how to apply for mutations, she applied for it online with the help of other SAG members. The mutation case was disposed of very soon, and she now has the document papers and the ownership in the name of her husband and brother-in-law. Second case is in Dhupguri, Jalpaiguri, where a SHG member had purchased land with her husband. They were the joint owners, but the Khatian was not there. Khatian is the document which has is an ownership document. So after receiving the training, she applied for these papers online, and she has received the record papers. So there are similarly there are a lot of positive cases that is happening. So this is quite an innovative project. Like this is one of its kind, and also the facilitation centers, if it runs successfully, will be able to provide services not only for land related matters, but all the online services that is given by the West Bengal government, be it pension or any other services that is given online, people will be able to apply it from these facilitation centers. So that is from our end. We do have with us our partners Landesa. So if Pinaki sir is there with us. He gives us the technical support. So Pinaki sir, if you would like to add something.
No, thank you. Nothing to add. I think it's an excellent presentation. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you from Team West Bengal. So over to you.
I think it's a very interesting project because, and especially because empowering women is the objective, which you have quite nicely explained. I have got a couple of curiosity-led questions. One is, when you gave the example of Kuch Bihar, the lady found out that land belongs to her father-in-law, not her husband and brother. Is there any privacy concept there, or anybody can see anybody's land ownership details?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. I would like Pinaki sir to please, because since he knows the details of the case, Pinaki sir, would you like to please address?
Yeah, thank you, Shalini. Yes, ma'am, anybody can visit the Government of West Bengal Land Reforms Department website to search and see the status of land records. But the main problem and challenge is the ignorance, and people hardly can access.
No. I was just curious about the privacy part of it. It's all transparent and
all
it's
transparent,
a public document and open to everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
That is one. Second thing is the block Sangha facilitation centers you talked about. Are they manned by women? I mean, very tricky.
Only women.
Are they handled by, or I shouldn't say manned by women, but are they managed by women?
Everything.
And you are planning to set up these kind of facility centers in all the blocks.
Yes,
this cannot be done through CSCs.
Yeah. No, the CSCs, the particularly land-related services, the service providers are not very much aware about the Khatiyans, the documents required, and visiting the website, navigating the websites. So special kind of training is required, ma'am. And these women who are providing services, they are provided a specific training.
Who will bear the cost of those? Setting up a facilitation center takes a lot of money, like when the numbers are so large. So, so who will fund it?
Ma'am, actually, every Sangha in West Bengal, it is equipped with minimum infrastructure like computer, printer, and the internet activity. So they can always use those resources, and they have got their own office. So practically the investment is nil. The training, it is falling within the WBSRLM responsibility. Several trainings are happening. So this is a part of the training. And the computer literate women, the board of directors of Sangha, they identify who are capable, and the training is provided.
Okay. And since training is being given to 9.7, you have already trained, another 6 are in pipeline, so about 15 lakh people or women to be trained, and 422 master trainers we have developed. Who has prepared the course material?
The course, that is the technical support area, the technical support providing agencies, and in collaboration with the Land Reforms Department, the module has been developed, and it has been tested, field tested, and the community is able
so
to
that
understand.
means all aspects are taken care. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, madam, I would just like to add one statement with sir. I think we have missed out. That is, we are also regarding the facilitation center, like how it will be run. So, madam, the thing that we were thinking that presently the few facilitation centers that have come up from December 2020, these are free of cost. They are providing services free of cost till date. But, madam, they are also planning to they have actually approached WBSRLM and the block offices to set a minimum fee structure, because they will be providing services. So if it is like a minimum cost structure, then that will take care of the administrative cost, like printing of papers, etc., maintaining of machines. So we still have
also AMC of the computers, the most important AMC of computers.
Madam, ANC of computers, because as sir pointed out, from WBSRLM, like every Shongo is given that. So that cost is
somebody is footing the bill.
Yes. So from West Bengal government, we are doing the bills, but like the other administrative cost, and also like a minimum remuneration for the girls also who are providing service, like they are staying there for a ample amount of time sitting there. So they have come up with this idea that if we can fix a very nominal fee so that it is not exorbitant as a middleman, but a minimum remuneration so as to encourage them. So we are still contemplating, maybe in the near future we can do that.
Yeah, but that brings out to another problem. The fee structure and the number of people, you have to actually strike a balance, because we have seen in many of the CSC when we started with the project, a lot of the CSCs were having very less income, and there has to be gap funding by the government. So when you are planning that kind of fee structure, you cannot make the fee very high because it should not be more than what the middleman charges, and you cannot make it too low because you have to pay wages to the girls who will be manning the center. So have you done some kind of estimate analysis?
Madam, because it is a very new thing, so we would at least take a year to do it, because it has started from January 2021. So due to the COVID
No.
situation, we
No,
still
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
I think
the details.
time period is too short for to really have a complete assessment of whatever efforts have been made. There have been excellent efforts. There are two or three things which are very, very important. Number one is the sustainability. Number two is a constant measurement of the outcomes which you are achieving. So these two things are very, very important, because your improvement processes will come on the measurement of the outcomes and the impact which is there. And that will also give the shortcomings in the way it is implemented right now, which you can improve upon in the time to come. So these are some of the extremely important things that you have to keep it in your mind. The time is too short right now, and we have been going through another peak of the COVID pandemic in the most part of this year. I think it will take another 6 to 8 months time for you to really come out with a comprehensive roadmap which will take it forward.
Sir, just for your kind information, the sustainability part, there are more than 3,000 sanghas, and for 10 sanghas, one service center can be established. That is the primary thinking, but the board of directors will decide at the district level. And the second is the outcomes, sir. There is a system already in place, and that training is provided to the board of directors. They will maintain a register, the amount of effort the women are putting to get the service, and also to have a level of satisfaction judgment, that how do they feel, because there are cases who are suffering for more than 6 months, 8 months, and exorbitant charges, 10,000, 12,000 they are paying, and now they are getting a service only at the cost of 200, 300 rupees. So this is a difference, but there will be a system. Thank you, sir, for pointing out this.
Good.